Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Dobbs here. It's the 26th of May, 2020, and it's been an incredibly kind of exciting time, hasn't it? I don't know if you've been kind of watching some of the channels and what have you that these kind of like these anomaly sort of channels that show these kind of weather phenomenons and kind of cloud formations and Planet X system objects, in my opinion, um, that are absolutely just mesmerizingly blowing me away. So I thought, let's just get this going because Nick Thomas has just shown an image. In the last video, basically, I said that we are coming to a point where we just don't know about this next flyby, and we've just got this amazing footage that it's Brandon Corey Nagley has put up. Actually, I'll bring you to it. I won't actually play the footage. I'm just going to show you some of the basic thumbnails of the channels and let you go through it. But before I start that, staying very much with the whole kind of Jupiter story, because we are, if you like, going through um, the tale of Jupiter right now. I know that sounds bizarre, but of all the planets or moons that are orbiting Jupiter, we're going through the rear end of those, quite literally. And I'm going to show you some epic shots now. So let's just start over with well, actually, it's ironically, it's come to. I remember mentioning it last time in my last video, just the shot that Matt Rogers caught on the what was it? It was 15th of August, 2016, and it was just incredible footage. You could see the debris in its tail, all that red dust in its tail, and I'm just reason I actually came to this wasn't specifically to show you this, but do you remember also around about that time, Steve Olson, I'm trying to think of the other man's name who put it up a lot now, and he doesn't. I haven't seen any of his videos. Chris. Oh goodness me! It's going to come to me in a second, but there was another really prominent YouTube, or especially specifically Planet X video maker, Chris. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't think of his name now. And his name was in my head a minute ago. But he was one who was showing these a lot. And Wayne Steiger, um, he was, we were seeing images from Stereo Secchi A, Stereo Secchi B, and this was an image that Deal Martin put up, and I would been likening to this massive, great shield in the sky. It was an animation that I kind of like put together, some time ago. About I don't know what the time of this was. Yeah, so it was kind of like 2016, 2017 or something. But let me just come. The reason I'm showing you that is let's just first of all come over to Nick Thomas's shot there, or the video I've just showing the what date was it? It was on the May the 19th, 2020. Nick, it's just an absolutely incredible shot. It really is. It's absolutely mind-blowing shot. But of course, as soon as I saw it, what shot did it really remind me of? It reminded me of Jeff Pease unbelievably famous shot on we've all talked about this, been on so many videos, it's caused so much discussion. This The shot was on the 24th. This was a video that I was making when I was first bringing this together with Bart in France, as realizing there was a 200-day anomaly, and I was able to predict all the different flybys that I've predicted. And let's face it, there's been a hell of a lot. This thing, I mean, we've had 3 flybys, literally 3 flybys this year, and incredible flybys, incredible shots, just absolutely epic shots. But this reminded me of these 2 shots, and that was obviously, yeah, that was Jeff P shot on the 24th of December 2015. Same day as Becky Lewis got the shots of the Twin Tails, 24th of December 2015, the ones that I predicted. And then those flybys came in, and admittedly they were much smaller than I imagined, but this thing was absolutely enormous. And so we assumed it was Planet X and the Sun. But what I'm going to tell you now is it is not Planet X and the Sun. That is Jupiter reflecting the light off the Sun from just behind the Sun in the northern hemisphere. And actually, we're getting an idea of just how big Jupiter really is. This is what the mass of this constantly suggests when I run the mass. I mean, just think about this, but think about that in terms of the mass. You know, this shot here was, like I say, the 24th of December 2015. So 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. That's 5 years. And this shot is 2020, and it's in May. So December, end of December, January, February, March, April, May, 5 months. So if this like Jupiter is moving around us, and it takes 12 years to move around us, so it moves 1 month every year, we'd expect to see, if this correlation was correct, and for some reason, whatever obfuscates this, so we don't normally see this reflecting massively in our day sky, seems to conceal this and a whole load of other stuff from us, this massive great shield-like thing that simply can't be there at this time because there's just too much other stuff like our sun and obviously well, Mars is over near us at the moment, and we're going to come to that in a second. But isn't it ironic that it's at that same time and that same alignment? It's moving. It fits into, you know, these shots are coming in. We just can't sweep these under the carpet. We can't sweep these under the carpet. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that. And this is my opinion. This is what the maths of this are saying. Don't forget, you know, I might be right or wrong. I just told you you're going to get a massive flyby. And ironically, you know, this shot here, before we talk about the shot that Brandon put up of this thing going by, we've got to take into consideration this shot here. Is this something? It's this is Mr. MBB33 showing.
Second, see that?
Let me just stop the sound there. Yeah, it's just this shot that he highlights on basically on this image. I think it was this image. Yeah, and he's just pointing up to there, and he's just coming into it there, and it's an incredible image of. And then there was this other image here. This has just come in this video. Yesterday he posted it, and remember this around here. as we go forward. So let's come now to this image that it's skies turn black in midday in Beijing from PX object, eclipsing sun. Choose today who you serve. Oh, there's something there he wants to read down there, but there's his I mean, it's an incredible shot. I mean, it's exactly what we were expecting to see. And have I got Dutch Synths up there? Looking at Dutch Synths, kind of like he's going to give us the best kind of like seismic kind of reports. Full stop. Basically. So that's 1 week ago, 6.5. See, we had a lot of activity about a week ago. So what date are we now? We're the 26th, we're going back a week. So going back to about the 20th. And what date was that? 22nd. And it's looking like it had just gone by there. When did I make that last video that I made? Let me just move that out of the way. I don't know if you see that bit, but the last video that I just made, I made on the 17th. So just before, ironically, look at that, saying that this thing's coming in. Is it, see, if you're looking out at the sky and you're just looking at the sun from that perspective, you see how big Jupiter is there. This is on the 14th of October, 2016. This was Jeff P's shot. Well, he got it off a webcam, and it's like late at night. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And I talk about this a lot, don't I? And what's it plasma charging into? Well, I know because of my maths, it's I'm of a mind because of my mass. It's Jupiter plasma charging into Mars. Ironically, the very thing that Wal Thornhill talks about, and yet there it is going right in front of us, caught on a webcam. And we're going to come to Mars a little bit more in a shake, but just look at the size of it there on a webcam. I mean, look, it's so much bigger than the sun. You know, we're getting a much bigger idea of, you know, picture all of these planets moving, chasing along effectively as with Jupiter, and we are literally coming up through that. Our sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars passing up through that, with that effectively in front of it. You know, have I got a have I got an image of that? You know, I often bring this in, don't I? I often bring this this shot through this shot to let me just zoom that in a little bit more. Hopefully you can see that. You know, here you can see again, look where the sun is, look where Jupiter is. Try to take yourself away from that idea that Jupiter is actually going round the sun. That we're actually, Jupiter's going round the same thing as sun's going round. And I'm going to pause it there. And as effectively it's Jupiter. I'm moving it in these directions because actually it's the cursor is actually, or the actual, it's set at the moment at the point of making this video. The primary point of focus is kept on Jupiter, but so the movements are very, you know, the next phase of this for me is going to be, you know, I said that we would have to get past this period before I could update this model. Because this flyby here is the one that we've just seen. That's the one. I'm of a mop. Hang on. Whoa. I can't say that. You see, it might be. And we've just had the 6.0. I'm more of a mind that our Earth has come round over here. Oh, sorry. And this planet, this outer object potentially has come round here and is going more around here now, and has actually gone ahead in front of us and is coming up here. But of course, it could be that this is more one of the inner objects that's coming in here, more like this one, but more over here. You know, it's basically, you know, we're told that there are 82 moons that orbit Jupiter, and we are literally in this aspect. It's actually Jupiter effectively that is actually passing through. We're both passing through each other. But if that was the case, and if we were to, I'm pointing to Venus here, obviously, imagining this is Earth. You know, this is Earth coming round here. We're over at this stage here. We're coming round here, and this object here is now coming round here. Remember, all we can do is observe these different aspects and start getting an idea more and more and more precise of how this works. This is all we're doing here, is getting an idea of which aspects of which moons of Jupiter are actually swinging around and actually then getting slungshot even right round our sun, vaporizing as they come through here and coming right back around the other side to kind of continue their normal orbit around Jupiter. And that's why they come out from behind the sun. I mean, it's such a fantastically complex, and clearly this is the case, and we can't just keep sweeping all these massive things out from under the carpet. You know, there's so many unknowns in this, but there are also this within this research, there's just so much that is being revealed, which is transforming the story clearly of the system that we're in, massively revealing this other story and massively revealing elements of its mechanics, of its orbital mechanics. You just can't deny that, guys. I've just been one after the other, predicting these massive flybys, and bringing it back to Jupiter over and over and over and over and over and over again in so many different ways. So let me just come out of that for a moment and come back to this video here, because Brandon also brings your attention to this shot here. What's it say? As Mars gives off an orange hue, not blood red, unknown object, possibly a PX system body in New Zealand. Now what that is it's gone past and it's gone into our night skies. And that's why I'm of a mind that it's gone the route I just showed you. It's come around the back of us. It's come towards us. Basically in May 2018, if it's the same object, we weren't as close to Jupiter at that time. And as it came around the back of us, let's go back over to here, the outer object. As we came round, it came behind us. And so we were very close in transit going the opposite way. And remember, in June the 17th, we had the epic shot in 2018 2018. And all those things, I was saying, no, we've done it, you know, because I had that older model that I was working with, my original model, which was trying to find a way of making this all work using the Copernicus model, the standard model that we're all in. And of course, you know, as I keep going back to Alex Lugin's shot on the 1st of September 2019, transformed everything. We saw the object going over here, going round something over here. It had to be Jupiter, because that's where we knew it was. Where we had to, Jupiter had to be there, because too much epic shots had made me believe it was there. And it was all corroborating. And now all of these shots are corroborating up with this new model. Okay, we are also up with a problem that we've had 3 flybys this year alone, 3 big flybys, obvious, massive, just like the ones. And that shot that we've just seen is just like the shots that Steve Olson was putting up in I think when were those shots that Steve Olson was putting up? Let's just come over here and go over to YouTube and just see if we can find Steve Olson's. Yeah, so it was there. So it was. There we go. It was the Messiah Complexes and Planet X wild pictures of. And do you remember that shot? It's very reminiscent of that shot, wasn't it? And we were getting the same sort of things. We've also been getting the red dust coming down. I think Brandon also brought that into a very recent shot, around about the 20th as well. But you know, 3 months ago, we've seen so many epic shots of that. Do you remember the big, when I'd said that was that corroborated with the big shot that I'd put up, and it was a very similar thing. You know, we're just getting such epic shots, aren't we? But just coming over now to, let's just do a new share and come over to Firefox here. And volcanic eruption on Mars, nope. And this was the New York Times saying that, well, what were, you know, it wasn't a volcano on Mars. And, you know, it was a comment about Mars in Brandon's video that just brings my attention to that. And Mars dust storm, you know, because we had the Mars rover we had the big shot of the volcano in 2018, also around October the 24th, I think it was. And then when did Opportunity emerges? Oh, there's pictures of when was it? Opportunity mission is complete. No response has been received from Opportunity since June the 10th, 2018. So that's when it went down. And remember, June was the time we had the sighting in 2018. And now if we come 2019, you see we're far from it there. And then come round to here. And we start seeing the kind of pathway that, if it is going the way I'm assuming it's going, and this twin tail object that we've just seen flying by, from our perspective here, is actually coming somewhere around here. And it's quite a big thing. We're going to be going this way. It's coming round here on a much bigger orbit. You know, it takes 2 years to go round if it's that same object. Then could we start seeing dust storms and kind of volcanoes and kind of seismic activity on Mars? You know, it would be interesting to watch Mars now. I don't truly know. We don't really know. We're looking for something to corroborate this and see more activity on Mars now. Be interesting to see. I just want to bring that in there just to see if there's any evidence of that going this direction, other than just this massive sighting of it. But obviously it could be coming in and coming coming this way. It's going to be interesting, you know, but basically as we come round now, we are a lot of those objects, you know, basically because of what we see and because of if this object that we've just seen, that Brandon's showing there, that we see it coming in and then we see it going out and doing the same thing that that effectively Matt Rogers put up. When did he put it up? Matt Rogers put up the famous shot that he put up in on the 15th of August 2017, where you literally see the debris. You're looking down the tail of this object. You're seeing its reflection. And let's just go back a little bit further for that. It's just, you're seeing the reflection of it. Obviously a much bigger shot of it, but you're seeing it at a different aspect of its different aspect of its cycle there. But definitely a corroboration. I mean, we've just got so many epic shots of this. We've got so many epic shots of this. And we can see that when we're really close to this, nuclear power stations go off. And, you know, I can't really say a lot more there, I guess. I've on that particular aspect of it, other than I'm just trying to think if I had it. Nibiru, was that Planet X? That was Alex Luhan's latest shot, which I just thought was quite interesting because it was right next to the sun and he zooms into it, and I just thought, and that's interesting because he shows another shot in this as well. He shows another shot in this, which I think his partner caught. I think he was saying his partner caught. I'm not too sure, but you know, I was expecting much bigger seismology, or certainly bigger volcanoes with this passage that's just gone by. I really was, and I'm of a mind. I don't know this, and we won't get to, like I say, till June, until this aspect of the cycle is complete, till we know a little bit more. But I'm of a mind that we could get to the June point and be at the point where passages are actually closest in terms of actually they could come, so we could be closer to the kind of debris point of what was in the tail, what some of that stuff that was in the tail. It should be long since past us there, and if there's any residue of debris, you know, we might be expecting a whole load of shooting stars and a little bit of debris from its tail. I really don't know what we might expect now. You know, maybe that's it for this bit. That now we wait till, well, the kind of like when did we see the flybys? The first of the next sequence. The first of the next sequence would have been, well, Alex Lujan caught it on the 3rd of July 2019. He got this epic shot, and at that point you really get an idea of its speed and its motion. Because it's going, not that this wasn't going the opposite direction to us, it's just so big there. But it was, you know, the shot that we got on the 3rd of July 2019 last year was really quite an epic shot. Alex Luhan caught it. I'll just show you maybe the thumbnail of that, because that will be the next aspect, unless this is coming in, unless this is something else, unless this is the big one and it still hasn't come by. We just don't know. You know, it literally be about 6 months ago, wasn't it? So 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I mean, look at this. It's just incredible. This is in the other side of the tail coming back the other way, the irony. And then we come to about 6 months ago, so it should be somewhere around maybe a bit more than that. Was it 9 months ago? Was it that long ago? There it was. So it's 10 months ago. But you can see, you know, just running through that, the activity that we've had, the sky phenomena that we had, the stuff that he's been showing, this, you know, the patterns are getting much, much more complex to define now. But we had so many regular patterns at the beginning, so many consistent patterns that it is getting easier and easier and easier, and we're starting to have to piece together what's going on. But we are in the densest hub of it now. We really are. It's amazing work you've done here, Alex. It really is. It's just such a massive effort to keep all this going and to run this commentary and to keep all these sightings coming through so that we can reference them. We can go back. It's a staggering amount of work, mate. It really is. You know, I've got tremendous respect for all that you do, man. Really have, and your partner, obviously, and you know, all those that contribute to what you put up. You know, it's amazing stuff. You know, well done, mate. Really, well done. Well done for all you video makers out there. They're bringing all this stuff together, and keeping a record of these, and so that we can all come together. We can all come and we all have our different opinions. You know, I'm not trying to say I'm right. I don't know what's going on really. I'm just, you know, piecing this together and just trying to present it. You know, just trying to present one aspect of a truth, you know, a theory in all of this. And, you know, my theory was much, much more big than this before this, because it was all to do with kind of like, so I've been swimming, so I've just kind of, you know, my aspect of this, let's come out of this, let's stop all this share and come back for a little bit of a discussion to finish this all off. Well, I've got my hard drive connected over there, so I'll come out of that and I'll just see my face a little bit. But oh dear, I just came out to kind of like trying to stay in the sunshine so you can sort of see me. And but what's coming up now? What's coming up next is around about the 20th of June for us. Is the political manoeuvres that come out now, because, you know, for me, in my opinion, this is the powers that be have been flexing their opinions, flexing their power, demonstrating how powerful their control over the world economy is and what it would look like if they don't enter this new free trade deal, which is being signed up all across the world. And you know, on the round about the 20th of January, it's going to be the time when, you know, it's in or out. If the deal's not signed, but if there's no deal that can be done beyond that point, then it's official. No deal will be done, and we're leaving cold without a deal. And we're getting a taste of what this looks like. And I told you, you know, in Laughing Gas, which I published in 2011, which ironically I've never received any money from. I published it with Lulu. And I've never received any money, incredible. Never received a single payment from any of them in all that time. Well, not that I'm aware of, anyway. Let's say it's been secretly going through an account and I'm just not aware of, and somewhere I've got a big pile of money that I've put in an account now I didn't even know about, and woohoo! But I noticed that, you know, friends of mine have been buy it and they get it secondhand, really cheap they get it secondhand like £3 on Amazon. I often wonder how that's possible. If I've never sold any copies, how is it that someone can sell a second-hand copy And it's definitely the ones that because I couldn't typeset it correctly when I put it into kind of like Amazon, and the ones I personally printed off and sold are correctly typeset, but the ones that come through Amazon and Lulu are kind of the typeset slightly off. You don't really notice it. I notice it because I tried to correct it over and over and over, but it just wouldn't let you do it unless you paid some money over to them, and they could even though the set was correct and you put the template into Word and that sort of stuff. Anyway, I don't know why I mentioned that. That's been one of those my niggling little things to see that, because I remember a friend of mine, an author who helped me enormously when I was publishing my book and got me to put it up there. And he said, you're going to get it up there. But I said, I'm going to be honest with you, you're going to get all excited about being able to publish your book, but they're going to sell it and you're never going to make any money, and they'll sell it. And you'll just watch your book being sold right from under your nose, and you won't receive any money. And all these different bodies will sell it on Amazon. There's nothing you can do. Even though I've sold no books and I could possibly take them to court, how could I prove any of it? It's funny, isn't it? But anyway, I don't certainly didn't put it out there for the money or anything else like that. But but I just wanted to put that out there because I wonder how many any authors out there that are experiencing the same thing. Because I know Stephen Ash told me the same thing, and it upset him a lot. And so if there's any other authors out there experiencing the same thing, that Amazon just sells your book for next to nothing secondhand, and they're just printing it off brand new. Obviously, someone is, and then palming them off for secondhand so they can undercut the market. Probably one of those YouTube help groups. There's Amazon. Are you tired of working 9 to 5? You could have a job with Amazon. Blah, blah, blah. They're one of those. Anyway, it's probably one of those web courses, how I made 10 million a day. But in that, that was the message I was given in all of this. It was just like, don't leave Europe. And so I did so much activity. And I think a lot of friends just thought I was a bit of a weirdo going on about Europe, not really understanding what would happen if we left Europe and what would unfold. And this would be the nature of it. I didn't know how it was going to occur or anything else like that. I just knew that they're going to try and get us into this crazy agreement. And it means breaking us out of all the old stuff to sign us up to this really horrible thing, which means we're carved up. And that's coming up. And we're just carved up if we sign that agreement. It's everything that is going on now and so much worse. You can see what's happening in Canada. We all protested against it. And it seems that all we've done in this big process is empowered it. And it's the same with the carbon story, isn't it? How we all protested to kind of lower the carbon dioxide, and then we realized that carbon dioxide is spewing out of the volcanoes in massive volumes. And it's not really that bad, but carbon dioxide. It's not being as demonized. Oh yeah, there's other gases and all the pollution, but going out and printing thousands and billions of new cars in the name of reducing carbon dioxide when each one consumes 100 times more fuel in its manufacture than it will ever use in its lifetime on the road. And driving all this thing, which has been the backbone of the whole nuclear thing, there's all these things that we're doing. This same story is repeating itself everywhere, isn't it? It's backward science that we're all living by. In this crazy Copernicus lie, this slave story that we're all in, and we're being pulled back into this story with these free trade deals that carve us up to this new agreement. And we're at that juncture. And we're throwing a lot of different stories at this. We're throwing a lot of different stories at this. And it seems that, what are the requirements for each country if they want to enter into this new free trade agreement? What's really on the table? What type of sacrifice will they have to make? And that's what this all comes back to now. Is, do we want to be part of that? Do we want to be part of this new kind of like You know, this is all going towards the direction of a chip, isn't it? We can see where this is going. This is going in the direction of a whole new system, a whole new economic system, a whole new, something very new is coming out of this. And if we don't want to be part of that, then what would we create outside of that? How would we interact? And how might we interact if we don't want to be part of that? And we have to keep ourselves going in the interim period as they try and force our hands into that, economically force us into that, starve us into that equation. Because I don't think they can force us into doing that, any of that. I don't think they can force us to take these vaccines. Even though the new laws they brought in are so draconian. Yeah, are so draconian. Sorry about that. I had a little, these new laws they're bringing in are so draconian that it's, you kind of like, can they implement those laws? Can they really implement those laws? I don't truly know if they can. I think we would be a lot more protected than you ever realise. But I think we have to stand in our protection. But I think there's going to be big changes coming. Whether it's going to be astronomical in those changes right now. I haven't heard very much from Steve Olsen, by the way, just lately. Big respect and to old Steve Olsen out there. Hope everything's going well with you, Steve. You know, and your son Matthew, your partner, and I hope everything's going all right, man. All you video makers out there that are kind of like get all this stuff and push it all forward and kind of take your stance, and you've all got your different beliefs of what's happening right now, and you're all speaking your truth, and you know, and it's, you know, we've all got our different truths in this. We've all got our different truths in this. What we're seeing. We're all trying to work out what this thing wants from us. You know, it's a tricky path, isn't it? It's a tricky path, but you know, I do think that this big economic downturn because of this coronavirus is going to have a much bigger impact on our financial institutions and on the world at large at the moment as this progresses now. This is most likely the first phase of that. And now the second phase of that is going to be the kind of collapsing down of a lot of industry, and then the pulling back and the taking back of that. A lot of that industry is going to now migrate back to the governments and back to the central banks, and ultimately be ready for redistribution. And however the new system goes, however this new system is worked out, we're entering into a time of big change. I think we know that now, and you know, it's just, again, inviting as much protection into your life through this. Inviting as much protection and being the best human you can in all of this. And be sensible, you know. We don't know if we're really through this. Like I say, that could be this, the big one's still coming in. Could be that we're done. No way we're done on this thing now. We're right in the middle of the tail. Right now, we're right in the middle of the tail. Right in the middle of it. Got to get out of this first. Got to get out of this little mess first. And get past that. What was the 11th of March 2011? Come back to that same point in 2023. And so we've got a lot of flybys to go before we come out of that point and we're back out from whence we came in. Full cycle of Jupiter. it's like a clock, hands of a clock. It simply goes. We've watched it moving month by month by month by month since 2011, and it is just like the hand of a clock going backwards. Of course, it is the end of the age and the beginning of a new age. That's all it is. That's all it is. Big stuff, and you're here on little old Earth, experiencing it all. What a ride! What a fantastic time to be on this planet. To see this, for those who can see it and see the epicness of the journey that you're in and what you're going through right now. It's an epic time to be alive. Epic time to be alive and experience and to see up and to be looking up into the skies and seeing this and be open to all these different ideas. And to have this window on where you really are from a galactic perspective. This is a breathtaking time for humanity. The slave class humanity that is coming out of this and coming back into its sovereign state. Waking up, the great revealing, the great deception being pushed aside, and you're seeing the true nature of where you really live. It's just, we see it as the most terrifying end in some sense. Oh my God, it's going to be the end. It's just the great revealing. That's what it really is. It's just every flyby that comes by, it just reveals so much more about the nature of what we are, who we are, and where we are. And then from there we can navigate and we can make mighty decisions. And we can link up with mighty gods, mighty powers. We can connect with great intelligence, great wisdom, super high frequencies. Create heaven on this little planet. Good luck out there.